Now to our legal segment, Burden of Proof, and the sentencing of Bryan Kohberger, set to take place on Wednesday now that the 30-year-old has pled guilty to the murders of 4 University of Idaho students. Joining me now is ABC News' legal contributor and managing partner at the Cochran firm, Channa Loyd. Channa, always a pleasure to speak with you. First, tell us about this gag order that was lifted by a judge last week. What have we learned so far?
So what we know, Ike, is that the gag order has been lifted. We have to remember that gag orders refer to individuals associated. So the investigators, the attorneys, they now can speak freely to the media about the information that they have. This is something that they haven't been able to do, as this gag order was put in place at the beginning of this by the judge. So I expect to hear a lot more information coming out about what's been going on from the investigation, as well as the evidence that was actually found during the investigation.
And also, even though the gag order was lifted, all documents in the case will remain sealed for now. So how and when could those documents be released? Idaho police say they want to be transparent in this entire endeavor.
Absolutely. They've talked about the fact that the judge wants to comb through these documents. When we talk about the gag order being lifted, we have to remember that's only for people. The sealed documents remain sealed, and they will remain under seal until the judge has had time to review them. And what he's going to do is redact any information that is sensitive or personal to the victims. That's what they're looking to do. They're not looking to hold any information back from the public, but they are going to protect the victims from sensitive information being released. So as they comb through these documents and redact them, they are expecting, and he is stating that he is going to make them available for public consumption so that we can all know what was going on and what information was filed into this case under seal.
And Channa, can you talk about the sentence Kohberger is likely to receive?
So we know that the plea deal allots for 4 consecutive life sentences. Now, whenever we talk about, and an additional 10 years for burglary, whenever you talk about a plea deal, this is an agreement between the defendant and the prosecutors. They have come to an agreement and agreed that this is what he is willing to accept. The judge has to approve a plea deal. If the judge rejects it, it puts the parties back in the space that they were in, and they typically are going to be moving forward to trial, or they have to negotiate a new plea deal. Now, how often does that happen? Not very often. It typically only happens when a judge feels as though the plea deal is too lenient for the defendant, or that the crime was so atrocious it warrants a higher penalty. So looking at what this plea deal is, I expect that it is going to be accepted by the court, and then he will be remanded into custody.
Now, Channa, you said 4 consecutive life sentences. Some of the families were upset at the plea bargain announcement. Will they be allowed to offer victim impact statements at the sentencing?
They will. They are allowed that is actually the most interaction that victims are allowed to have within a criminal case. We have to remember that it is the state that is prosecuting it. And although they listen to the victims, they do not control the case. So this is the time where victims get to actually speak directly to the judge and to express to him why it is they feel that the sentence is adequate or inadequate. The judge does take this into consideration because these are the individuals that have been impacted by the crime that the defendant has pleaded guilty to. So we expect to hear from them, and we're going to hear information on why they feel this is important to have this sentence.
And Channa, finally, can you talk to me about what this plea deal means for Kohberger? Can he actually appeal this sentence moving forward?
No, Ike, he cannot appeal this sentence. And the reason that he can't is because it is actually written into the plea deal. The prosecution has ensured that he is waiving his right to appeal. And the reason they wanted to do that is because if they were going to take the death penalty off of the table for him, they wanted to ensure that he would actually serve these 4 life sentences and the 10 years. The way they ensured that is they put in a paragraph that specifically states that he has waived the right to appeal. So there will be no appeal if this plea deal is accepted by the judge.
All right, Channa Loyd, thank you, as always, for your analysis. And be sure to catch the ABC Audio True Crime podcast about this case called The King Road Killings, wherever you get your podcasts.